to do that? Is it still difficult?
I think everyone's gotten used to it by now. You know, it's been a few springs in a row, you know, where you dive into that portal and you try to play catch up and evaluate as many kids as you can and try to fast track relationships and see who the best fits are. But we really like the 5 we got out of the portal. Great people, complement each other well. Again, the experience with the assists, you know, and the makes, you know, and coming from a pretty high level, you know, for a lot of these guys are having played against high level teams and having had success against high level teams too.
What do you think you have to work with at the point guard position?
Well, Jordan Ross is very good. He's really good from St. Mary's, a top 25 team last year, team that won the league that Gonzaga played in, and played off the ball more, but 3-to-1 assist turnover ratio, arguably their best defensive guard on a top 10 defense in the country. A guy that's won a lot at every level. I've got a lot of confidence in him. Jeremiah Wilkinson, Smurf Millinder, both those guys are a little different. Both those guys have more of a scoring mentality. But I think you got 3 guys that can play the point at any given time. With those 2 guys being, again, a little bit different than Jordan, where I think Jordan's emphasis, Jordan steps onto the floor wanting to help guys around him get better and get guys shots. And he can score it as well, but those 2 guys are thinking score first, you know, with Smurf and Jeremiah. I like our backcourt.
How key was to get Santo back to give you that
Huge.
size in the middle?
Huge. Santo is huge, and it was a huge given back. You know, we really like Santo. His upside, his ceiling. Yeah, he's part of us. You know, when you get a guy now to return for the second year, it's those guys are outliers now, right? You know, so now he's entrenched in the culture and in our program. I think Santo's got a chance to be a really good player.
What does that look like during those, you know, I don't know what the period, if it's a few days when you're trying to learn if a player is going to go or stay in terms of numbers and you know, as it relates to Silas.
Right.
Did Connecticut come with too big a number for Georgia, like different?
I have no idea what those numbers are. I really don't. All I can speak to is Georgia and our desire to have him return. Had a long sit down with him that Monday after we finished playing. And, we put some thought to it. A few days later, we met again. Hey, I want to get the portal. I want to explore options, and that's part of what it is. I mean, it'd be hypocritical, of me to not support whatever decision he wanted to make. I'm for Silas Demery. I love him. He's a great kid. Helped us get the NCAA tournament. He'll always be beloved at Georgia. I'm rooting like crazy for him to have success this year.
Fleet Tire has been serving Knoxville's tire needs for over 40 years with the best quality tires available, including Michelin and Bridgestone. Owned and operated by Tennessee grads, their tires may not be orange, but their blood sure runs orange. For the best tires made with the best prices, see Fleet Tire. Local Internet Pro, that's the home of Ty, the Internet Guy. Owner Ty Claiborne understands that different homes have different internet needs. Ty acts as a mediator between different cable internet providers and the homeowner while catering to your internet needs. He works with the homeowner from installation through implementation to save you money. Call Ty the Internet Guy, 865-296-0285.
We talked at the end of last season about, you know, the momentum of going to the tournament, trying to use that. Do you feel like that resonated when you guys went in the portal?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, if we weren't able to sell Silas Demery and Asa Newell, and the fact that we were able to get a 9 seed, that we were part of the most historical conference season, you know, in college basketball history. I don't know that we get the guys that we got, you know. So the momentum certainly helped us this spring.
Basketball's been so affected by everything. Like you mentioned, you get a guy come back for a second year, it's an outlier. It kind of is what it is. What's your sense on the settlement, assuming it goes through? Is it going to change things for the better? If you guys kind of wrapped your mind around what it might do?
There's just a lot of uncertainty there, right? A lot of ambiguity. There's so many questions that need to be answered. I'm hopeful that you'd have a better chance with continuity in the future, but I don't know that for sure. I know that would be our desire at Georgia, especially with the guys that we're getting, like the 3 incoming freshmen that we've got coming in. You know, who knows? Are they going to be 1-year guy, 4-year guys? But I really like them. You know, I think they have a chance to really add to our culture and put their own stamps on this program. So I'm all for continuity and and development over time.
How much
Thank
have
you.
you thought about all the the changes and what needs to happen? Like Danny came out, said he's for collective bargaining. I mean, you think that that's an inevitability, that's what has to happen?
I'm gonna let those ADs worry about that stuff and the presidents, right? Give us the rules, we'll follow them. We'll abide by whatever the framework is and do the best we can, year in and year out. But I think a lot of it will be talked about this week. That's why those guys are here. And the administrators got a head start. They've been here a little bit earlier.
Mike, you mentioned the historic season, 14 teams in the NCAA tournament. 10 years ago, there were only 3.
Yeah.
Why the significant improvement in the SEC men's basketball?
I think there's a lot of reasons. It's been talked a lot about over the past few years. I think improved facilities. I think the uptick in recruiting. I think you probably had 3 or 4 coaches there that are high-level recruiters that joined the league about the same time. The SEC network, the national television exposure, I think probably as big a factors as anything else. And then we gained a little momentum, and then we rode that momentum. I think a factor probably hasn't been talked about a lot. I don't know. I don't read a ton, but the age of our league last year, the experience of our league was just incredible compared to the rest of the country, and I think that was a big part of the success of our league as well. We won't be as old of a league, but hopefully we can maintain that momentum that the SEC has in men's basketball.
Why did you want to add Todd to your staff?
Love Todd Abernathy. I've known him since he's 19 years old. I coached him 3 years at Ole Miss as his position coach. Watched a lot of film with him. Had a lot of lunches with him. Lived on the court with him, at times, and just have kind of followed his development over time. Dusty May hired him at FAU. He also worked for Andy Kennedy, who I worked for 5 years while we were coaching Todd. So there's a lot of familiarity there. He's a guy that's coached in the SEC. He's a former All-SEC player. He's a great human being. He's coached in the Final Four. He does a really good job with international recruiting, player development, scouting, all those things. But the international piece too is a strength that's a little bit unique for him that I think is coming more and more into play with today's landscape.
What are his strengths as like an on-court coach?
He was a hell of a point guard at Ole Miss. I don't know if you remember him, but
Yeah.
player development. He's an offensive mind. He's got a really good feel there. He did a really good job with those guards at FAU. Again, they went to the Final Four. One thing I'm looking for forever, I've been really fortunate to have really good cultures within staff, right? Really good staff chemistry. And he'll add to that. He was a great teammate. I witnessed it, again, for 3 years as his coach, as an assistant coach. But, again, I'm really close with some of these guys that work with him, too. And Akeem Miskadeen and Kyle Church and Dusty May and Andy Kennedy, of course, who was with him.
You talked about him having an offensive mind. Was that kind of key to what you kind of were looking for when you?
Yeah, part of it. Yeah, I mean, there's so many different ways you can go with it. With an assistant coach, but his talent, his character, his ability to connect with young people, his ability as a teammate to connect with staff. Because I like the way that we're headed. I think we have momentum going into next season, and I know exactly what Todd's going to bring, and I know how good of a teammate he's going to be to the rest of to our staff. Player development, especially with guards, and then again that the international recruiting piece is something that I'm excited to dive into a little bit deeper with him.
What did you think of Danny White being named the National Athletic Director of the Year?
I thought it would be a tight race between him and Josh Brooks and Brian White, but I'm glad one of them won it. He's terrific. I just look forward to seeing him tonight.
Was he
Brian
deserving?
Shazer?
Was he deserving, you think?
Oh, absolutely. You kidding me? He's killing it. Yeah, he does a great job. I'm really happy for him.
We have an exceptional group of attorneys that work here. We're all trying to be better attorneys, be better advocates for our clients, be better people.
That makes me proud to be part of the team when I see how much the attorneys care about their clients.
It's truly one vision. I feel like every single person who works here has that same vision, and that's to treat all of our clients like family.
We've developed such a tight-knit team. Everyone is unified in being selfless in their representation.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.